of 5.7 million. Okay, that is number one. This includes 700 units with a cost of 1,400 per unit. In order to sell these items, they need an additional process that costs 400 per unit. At which point they can then be sold for 1,600 per unit. Okay, as we know, your inventories are valued at cost or NRV, whichever is lower. Now here, you know the cost, you know the NRV. You are going to see if the inventory needs a write down. So let's go back. Let's check that. Working number 3. Inventory valuation. Inventory valuation. Okay, inventory valuation. Okay, when you take inventory valuation, you have the cost of the inventory. They say cost of the inventory. Already you have inventory valued at, closing stocks valued at. So closing inventory valuation is given to us already. They say the value is 5.7 million, 5,700. 5,700 is given. But there are certain adjustments that we have to do, probably to understand if there is any write down in terms of inventory. So first I'm going to take the cost. Now how much is the cost? Now the cost, they say the component. The cost, they say there is a component out of this inventory which is 700 unit with a cost of 1,400 per unit. There is a cost, there is an inventory line. So this 700 units is valued at 1,400. The cost is 1,400 equals 700 into 1,400, which is 980,000. But this we have to check with our NRV or cost or NRV, whichever is low. So this is our cost, and then we have our NRV. How much is the NRV? They say if we have to sell this, at 1,600, we have to incur a cost of 400. Meaning our NRV will be our selling price minus cost to sell, which is 1,600 minus 400. Are we clear? So in that 1,600 minus 400 is our NRV. For how many units? 700 units. So therefore 1,200, 700 units into 1,200. Therefore equals 700 into 1,200. There you go, 840,000. So cost to NRV, whichever is lower. My NRV is 840,000. My cost is 980,000. Therefore, my inventory requires a write down of 140,000. Inventory write down. Are we clear? Inventory write off. We have an inventory write off of 140,000. Are we clear? Yes. Yes. Super. Now, basically, my inventory to take to my financials, therefore, my closing inventory will be, obviously, I brought forward 5,700. So, 5,700 minus 140. 5,560 would be my closing inventory. Understood? Are we clear? Yes. Yes. Everybody, are we clear? Yes. It's a straightforward adjustment. Okay, I'm going to go forward. Number 3. Take a minute, go through that. Take a minute, go through that. Take a minute, go through that. No, it's fine.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now? Check it.
Okay. Third note. Read it on you. Read it on you. Read it on you. Read it on you. At 30th June 2012, Print has a contract to purchase 22,500 electric components over the next 3 years at a cost of 450. So you have a contract to purchase. So you have got into a contract to purchase. What are you going to purchase? 22,500 electric components for the next 3 years at a cost of 450 each. Now that is a contract that you have agreed to purchase. These purchases are made at a constant rate every year. The constant price 22,500 into 450 over 3 how many years? 3 years. Over 3 years means at a constant rate every year you have agreed to purchase. These components are no longer required for their initial purpose. Okay, now what is happening? As you agreed to this, now you don't have a purpose out of it. Meaning your initial purpose is not there anymore. So that is out. That is out. Okay. But do have an alternative use. By keeping them, you can make them use them for something else, an alternative use, which will require an additional manufacturing cost of 600 per component. So if you are going to use them for something alternative, there will be an additional cost of how much? 600. Are we clear? Are we clear? Therefore, each component can then be sold for 900. Okay, if you incur this additional cost, you can then sell it for how much? 900. Or alternatively, you have a option to cancel the contract immediately by paying a penalty of 4 million. Or you can say, hey, look, I don't want this at all. I'll pay you a penalty of 4 million. Any adjustments resulting from this information should be made to administrative expenses, ignoring discount. What is the standards? You have a contract to purchase. You have a contract to purchase, so there is a cost that you are going to incur. You do not know what to do in the exam. Stuck entirely stuck. Okay, what is this? What are they even saying? It's an onerous contract. It's an onerous contract in line with IAS 37. you have to understand the cost of fulfilling the contract, and you are also going to understand what is the benefit out of it, and you're going to see based on that how you are going to allocate. Don't worry, I'll give you a point also and we will work around it. Okay, now, first let's try to understand. I'll give you some notes in relation to this so that you understand this better. Anyway, take a minute and read this again on your own. Okay, now when you look at this particular point, you have only two options. Option number one, to purchase the components. Option number one, purchase the component, incur additional manufacturing cost. Option number two, cancel the contract. Yes or no? So I have only two options. Okay, now these are notes that I'm giving you, additional notes that I'm giving you. Okay, working for option one. Go ahead with the contract. Option number two, cancel the contract. Are we clear? We have only two options. Go ahead with the contract or cancel the contract. Correct, no? Okay. IAS 37 at this point. Look here. IAS 37. Everybody, look here. IAS 37 comes in and says, hey, look, if you have a contract and if this contract results in additional unavoidable cost, you have a contract, but this contract is resulting in an additional unavoidable cost which is greater than the benefit that you get. So you have an additional unavoidable cost which is greater than the benefit that you get out of the contract. Then you have an onerous contract. It says in an onerous contract, you are going to recognize a provision. This provision has to be lower of number one, cost of fulfilling the contract, and number two, cost of exiting from the contract. Now you have two options. No, option number one, go ahead with the contract. If you go ahead with the contract, that means you are fulfilling the contract. For that, you have a cost. Option number two, you can cancel the contract. If you cancel the contract, also you have a cost of exit. You're going to take both and you're going to understand which is the lower cost for you, because lower cost is the most beneficial for you, right? So you're going to get the lower cost for you, and then for that you're going to recognize a provision. Anyway, you're going to make a loss probably, but what is a lesser loss, what is the lesser impact for you is something that is favorable for you, correct? So that's what you're going to take. Are we clear? Understood? Yes or no? Are we clear? So in other words, we are going to look at the cost and we are going to look at the benefit. Okay, let's do that. Keep your pens down. Look here. Now, your purchase cost, if you're going to purchase the contract, your purchase cost will be how much? 22,500 electrical components at 450 each. So 22,500 into 450 equals 22,500 into 450 gives you 10,125,000. Okay, super. Now this is going to be my purchase cost. But if I purchase this, now this is going to be over a period of 3 years, correct? If I purchase this, I have no use, correct? Because why I originally required, I don't require it anymore. However, I have an alternative use. I can use it for something else. If I'm going to do that, I will incur another additional manufacturing cost of 600. So manufacturing for alternative, manufacturing cost will be 22,500 into 600. Therefore, 22,500 into 600 gives me how much? 13,500,000. Therefore, if you look at my total cost will be 23,625,000. Are we clear? Are we clear? If I incur this, then I can sell this. I can sell this. So my sales price, sales price will be, I can sell it for 900 per component. So in other words, 22,500 into 900 will be my benefit, correct? So equals 22,500 into 900 is my benefit, means my benefit will be 20,250,000. Are we clear? However, now if you compare my penalty, if I am going to if I am going to not take this, but if I decide to go ahead and pay the penalty, my penalty cost will be how much? 4 million. My penalty cost will be 4 million. Are we clear? Are we clear? In other words, what will happen in this case? I will incur a loss. How much will be my loss? This minus this, 3,375,000 will be my loss. 3,375,000. But if I choose this option, my cost will be 4 million. Ideally, what will I choose? Will I choose loss 3,375,000 or 4 million as my option? Meaning the standard says choose lower of cost of fulfilling the contract. Cost of fulfilling the contract, if I fulfill, I have a loss of 3,375,000. Or cost of exiting from the contract, which is 4 million. Between both, which is more beneficial for me? Cost of fulfilling the contract is beneficial for me. So for this is my loss. For this, I'm going to provide a provision. The standard requires a provision to be recognized. So provisions equals this entirely taken to my admin, entire loss, correct? And then I have 3 more years to go. 3 years to go. Next year current liability, the following 2 years non-current liability. So to my current liability, I will take equals divided by 3. To my non-current liability, I will provide equals divided by 2. Oh no, equals this divided by 3 into 2, which is 2,200,000. So my admin will be debited, debit admin cost P&L, credit my liability for next year. I have 1,125,000. The following year, I have 2,250,000. Basically, the entire loss is recognized in the first year. So we call it an onerous contract. We call it an onerous. Are we clear? Are we clear? Are we clear? Coming back, let's go back. Let's try to understand it even further. A little recap. Trenco has a contract to purchase 22,500 electrical components over the next 3 years at a cost of 450. But these purchases are made at a constant rate every year, the same cost. These components are no longer required for the initial purpose. You don't require it, but you have promised to buy it. But if you are going to say no to it, you're going to pay a 4 million penalty. But alternatively, you can put it to another use. If you put it to another use, you have your cost and you have your revenue. What is your cost? This will be your cost and this will be your revenue. Meaning, anyway, you're going to incur a cost out of this product. What is the cost? 3,375,000. Instead, if you go for cancellation, exiting this, your exit cost is 4 million. So what would you choose? Something you have where you have a lesser damage. In that case, the lesser damage for you is option number 1, cost of fulfilling the contract. So for that, you are going to provide a provision, entire provision of 3,375,000 right now, immediately. However, your current and non-current liability over the next 2 years has to be accounted for. Okay, super. That's that. Point number 4. Note number 4. Note number 4. Okay, take a minute. Read note number 4. I know the online students, live students have missed note number 1. I will come back to it once I'm done with these notes. Okay, I'm going to come back. Okay, don't worry. There's a technical glitch in terms of our live, so we will come back to it soon. Okay, done. On 1st of July 2011, that is at the beginning of the year, the directors of Printco decided to sell a piece of machinery and the asset met the criteria to be classified as held for sale at that date. Standard IFRS, IFRS 5, non-current assets held for sale and discontinued operations. It was held for sale. You have it for sale. The machine, which cost 2.4 million, had a carrying amount of 1.5 million at 1st of July 2011. Okay. Now, on 1st of July 2000 and working number 5, held for sale, asset held for sale. On 1st of July 2011, you have an asset which cost you 2.4 million, correct? Cost 2400, done. It had a carrying amount of 1.5 million on the particular date. On 1st of July itself, the carrying value, on 1st of July itself, carrying value was how much? 1,500, 1,500. Are we clear? Given. And then they say, at that date, its fair value less cost to sell was 1.14 million. On 1st of July itself, its fair value less cost to sell, was 1,140. The machine was sold for 1.1 million after selling cost on 1st of July 2012. So now on 1st of July 2012, the machine was sold for how much? The machine was sold for 1,100 sales price. So basically, your carrying value was 1,500 when you at the beginning of the year. Right now, your disposal value is 1,100, meaning there is impairment. There is impairment of how much? 400. There you go. Impairment. Debit your PNL. Debit PNL. Credit your machinery. Are we clear? And then obviously you need to keep in mind after you do that, your non-current asset held for sale value will now become 1,400 at 30th of June 2012. Are we clear? Super. Working number 5, done. Working number 6. Your working number 6, we go forward. No adjustments have been made to take account of classifying the machine as held for sale. Okay, this is entirely done. Pink's policy is to depreciate. Pink's policy is to depreciate plant and machinery at 15% per annum on cost, and to present the depreciation charge in cost of sales. You're going to charge depreciation at cost. Okay, that will be tested. It's an important area in the exam. So working number 6, depreciation. So you're charging depreciation at cost. So we are gonna now calculate depreciation. Plant and machinery at cost. Okay, now let's go back to plant and machinery on the trial balance. Your plant and machinery at cost is given as 16,200. So plant and machinery 16,200. Are we clear? And out of that, you have non-current assets held for sale, which has to be removed. The cost of non-current assets held for sale is 2,400. Brilliant minus 2,400. Are we clear? Therefore, your required depreciation for plant and machinery will be 13,800. Out of that, 15% equals 13,800 into 15% gives you 2,070 debit depreciation. Debit depreciation. Credit accumulated depreciation. Are we clear? Done and that's it. Now all what I have to do is right now here itself in the exam. Right now here in the exam, if you can directly get your net book value, it's easier for you to connect it to the balance sheet. So if I'm you, what I will do is net book value, property, plant and equipment. Okay, plant and equipment. So I make my life easier. So plant and machinery, I have how much? Plant and machinery. I have 16,200 is my cost, and I already have depreciation, accumulated depreciation of 7,290. Therefore, equals 16,200 minus 7,290 gives me 8,910 is my net book value opening. And out of this, I have non-current assets held for sale. The carrying value I have to deduct. They have given me 1,500 carrying value at the beginning. So minus 1,500. Done. Therefore, I have net of 7,410. From this 7,410, I have current year depreciation. My current year depreciation would be 2,070. Therefore, my net book value of plant and machinery would be 5,340. Done and taken to statement of financial position. Done and that's it. Are we clear? Understood? Finally, what do I have? I have income tax refund for the year. Income tax refund for the year. Now, that means probably the company is making a loss. The tax refund for the year has been estimated at 2,530. So if it is a tax refund, all what I will do is working number 7, tax refund. What are you going to do? 2,530 is going to come to you. So you're going to not take it as a payable, instead you're going to take it as a receivable. So debit tax refund in your statement of financial position, 2,530, and then credit your P&L, 2,530. That's it. We are done with all our work. Okay. Now the first note I have to explain it because students were not able to capture it. So we were not live. So therefore I'm coming back and explaining the first point as well. So coming back, on 1st of January 2012, okay, guys, online, whoever is coming on YouTube stream, I saw a very good reach yesterday on YouTube. So, yes, for whoever, our YouTube fans, everybody, yeah, just for y'all, on 1st of January 2012, Printco raised 30 million, okay, the company is raising 30 million cash, you want cash. Now, generally, if a company wants money, options are very simple. Go for a loan. or number 2, go to your shareholders. But here what is happening, the full amount was recorded in the nominal ledger as a bank loan. You are taking it as a bank loan. The funds actually consisted of a bank loan. Okay, when you take the entire 30 million, there was actually a bank loan. Yes, no problem. Of 16 million only. The remaining 14 million was from the issue of a 7 million ordinary share. So, out of the 30 million has two components, my dear. This 30 million has two components. One, a bank loan component, two, a share issue component. But what you have done is you have taken the entire 30 million as a bank loan, as a liability. So what has happened is the issue of 7 million ordinary shares has not been captured. Now, first entry, the issue of 7 million equity shares has to be taken now. Correct. Now, what did we do? We went back. We reversed the loan. How did we reverse the loan? We would have credited 14,000. Now we debited 14,000. We debited 14,000. And now I have issued shares. So I credited share capital and I credited share premium. That is the first entry that I did. My second entry is when you go further, they say interest is payable on the loan at 5% per annum. They are paying interest at 5% per annum. An accrual, because you've taken it on 1st of January 2012, there is an accrual which they have also recognized. They have shown an accrual. An accrual for 6 months interest has been included in the trade and other payables and recognized as a finance cost. However, the calculation of interest was incorrectly based on the nominal ledger loan balance. Okay, so you have considered 30 million and you have calculated the finance cost, whereas you should have calculated based on 16 million. Therefore, what we did was there is an incorrectly charged interest. How much have you charged based on 30,000 into 5% into 612? You have charged based on 750. Instead, the actual charge should have been based on 16,000. So 16,000 into 5% into 6 over 12 should have been 400, but you have charged 750, meaning you have overcharged, my dear. The overcharged is 350. Now we are going to reverse it, meaning your finance cost is high. Now you're going to bring it down. If your finance cost, you're going to bring it down, you're going to credit your P&L in your finance cost and you're going to debit your trade payables. I hope that makes sense. Are we clear? Are we clear? Superb. Now, okay, now that we are done with all the workings, time to do the income statement and balance sheet, performance statement and statement of financial position. Okay, now we have a nice structure that we have in place. So we are gonna copy paste that structure. Okay, so as much as possible, we are going to make sure that we adhere to our updated presentation statement. Superb. Now we're coming back. So the name of the company is Prints Statement of Financial Performance for the year ended 30th June 2012. Okay, there you go. I get my heading done. Okay. Once I'm done with my heading, now what am I going to do? I'm going to say income and expenses from my operating activities. My income and expenses from operating activities. Right here, I'll be having what? I'll be having my revenue. My revenue is going to be, now in the exam, I'll go check for my revenue. How much is my revenue? 97,400. I'll say 97,400. I will look for any adjustments that we did. Any adjustments? Any adjustments? Okay, bank loan, share capital. No, no, nothing, 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 nothing. I have sales price, but that is only for the provision, so that also doesn't come there. Out. Held for sale, nothing. Depreciation, nothing, nothing. Okay, I can go to the top. I can internally take 97,400. And then what do I have? My cost of sale. My cost of sales. My cost of sales. My opening inventory. My opening inventory is 60,001. Sorry, that's my production cost. My opening inventory is 6,850. So I'm gonna take 6,850 plus my production cost is 60,150. Your examiner has slightly changed. Okay, probably you might get confused. Please don't get confused. It's your normal cost of sales working. So that is your 60,150. 60,150 minus you did any adjustments. Yes, your inventory, you got your closing stocks. We finally got our closing stocks. Our closing stocks were 5560. Our closing stocks were 5560. So we have entirely accounted for our closing stocks. Perfect. There is depreciation. So we are going to add depreciation. How much is our depreciation? Our depreciation was 2070. Therefore, 63,510. Are we clear? We have impairment also 400. We have an impairment of 400 also. So we can also directly take on our assets impairment, which is 400. Now, the most important thing is for you to go check these entirely so that we don't miss anything. In the exam, you got to make sure that you go check entirely, okay, if you are missing anything. Okay, finance cost is out, inventory valuation is done. Onerous contract, I have a provision, but I'm going to take it to admin because they clearly tell me. Held for sale done, impairment, depreciation done, nothing to worry. After that, it's the tax and my statement of financial position. Okay, so that means I am good to go. Goodwill impairment. It's always better to show goodwill impairment. So,
yeah, that's what.
well, if it is material, if it's a big amount, yes, but it's okay to show it here.
In cost of sale.
No problem. But if it is a material value, then it's better to show it separately. That's what IFRS 18 says. Where you have special characteristics, you can put it together and show. If it's not special characteristics like goodwill impairment, show it separately. Okay, super. Now I got my gross profits. My gross profit is 97,400 minus 63,910, 33,410. My gross profit is not a mandatory element for me. But having said that, if I want, I can show it. No problem. Now that I'm done with this, I have my operating expenses. My operating expenses, I can come here. I can say my operating expenses. What are my operating expenses I have here? I have my admin and distribution cost. Administrative expenses and distribution cost. My administrative expenses is already given to me. My admin expenses is 29,570. So equals 29,570. Did we do any adjustments to this? Yes, we did an adjustment. I remember we worked out our provisions. 3375. So 3375, I'm going to simply add it 32,945. And then I have distribution cost 7,200. We did not make any changes there. So I'm going to directly take distribution cost. Done. Now that I'm done with this, I'm getting into my operating profits, or in other words, profit before financing and income taxes. So profit before financing and income taxes. And income taxes. And taxes. So basically, I'll take my 33,490 minus 32,945 minus 7,200. Gives me a loss of 6655. So I don't have a profit. Instead, I have a loss. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Now that I'm done with this, I obviously have my finance cost. My finance cost is given as 750. So I'm going to take 750. Do I have any adjustments to make? Yes, we made some adjustments. Meaning my finance cost is going to come down. My finance cost will come down right now. I have overcharged 350. So I'm going to remove my 350 and make it 400. So I have my profit loss before taxes. Loss before taxes, which is equals this plus this, which is 6255. Oh no, my finance cost is negative. So let me put a negative and it becomes 7 equals this. Okay, I'm going to take equals sum. Oh, okay, it has changed. Okay, wait. My finance cost is now okay. 7055. I told you I'm bad with mathematics. 7055. And then what do I have? I have my income tax, but this time I have a refund. My income tax refund, they say, is 2,530. There you go. So it's going to be, it's going to reduce my loss. It's going to reduce my loss. Therefore, my profit will be 4525. My profit will be 4525. Super. My loss will be 4525. See, I'm also checking if you're giving me the right answer sometimes. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear? No problem? Simple question, right? What? No, it's a simple question. And then we can go on to the statement of financial position. So let's go to the top. Let's say print statement of financial position as at 31st July 2000 30th June 2012. Super. Okay, done and dusted. What do I do? What do I do next? What do I do next? I take my assets. My assets, and under my assets, I'll take my non-current. Okay. If you take my non-current assets, obviously I had plant and machinery. I won't forget because I took my net book value. I made my life easier. I go right to the bottom. 5,340. I can directly take. No problem there. Do I have anything else? There is land. Land at cost is given at 45,000. So I'm going to take my land at cost 45,000. Therefore, total current assets will be 50,340. Total non-current assets. Then I have my current assets, and under this I won't forget non-current assets held for sale. I have non-current assets held for sale, which we already took the total and kept it down 1100. And then we've got inventory, trade, receivables. Normally that is our structure. So I'm just taking it because I know probably it will be there. I saw that as well. Our closing inventory, we've already calculated it somewhere. We got it somewhere. There you go, 5560. And then I have my trade receivables. You go to my trade receivables. My trade receivables is 2510. Did we make any adjustments to it?
No.
2510. What? Well, that will not go there. That is a payable. That is a payable. That will not go there. That's out. So anything else? Any bad debts? No, I don't remember any bad debts. So that's out. 2510. That's it. And then what do we have? Cash at bank is 4700. Cash at bank is 4700. And you shouldn't forget we have a tax refund. We have a tax refund which is 2530. Therefore, my total would be 38,900. Total current asset. Now that I have my total current assets and non-current assets, I have my total assets. My total assets will simply be 38,900 plus 50,340, 89,240. 89,240. Done. Now that I'm done with my assets, I can go on. In the exam, you will have this problem. You will have this problem where you can't add lines. So if you can't add lines, now see, all what you have to do is entirely you have to cut this. So make sure you leave enough space and don't get stuck. Okay. So you see, you don't have enough space. So I'm gonna cut that and paste it here. So it gives me some space. So make sure if it's a question where you can leave about 55-60 lines is also fine. Keep 60 as your starting point. It's okay, because under exams you're not going to just get few adjustments. You will get a lot of adjustments. So have a lot of lines so that you don't waste about 30-40 seconds there also, because you can't add lines in the system. Going back, we have equity, and equity we have share capital. We have share capital. So you can say share capital. How much is your share capital? Already given to us. Our share capital is given as 29,600. Did we make any adjustments, my dear? Yes, we made adjustments. What are the adjustments? 7,000 adjustments. And then we have share premium. We also made adjustments to the share premium. Share premium is already given as 15,500 plus another 7,000. Done and dusted. Are we clear? Now what do we have? NCI, consolidated retained earnings. Okay, there you go. We have retained earnings. We have retained earnings. How much is our retained earnings, my dear?
11,000.
Already given how much?
11,000.
11,470. And then we have a loss minus 4,525 gives me 6,945. Revaluation, we don't have anything. I did not see any revaluation in the question, so I can say it's 0. Therefore, my total equity will be 66,045. We are done. Are we clear? Yes or no? Everybody, are we clear? Okay. Now moving on, I have my liabilities. Under my liabilities, I'm going to start off with my non-current liabilities. If you take our non-current liabilities, we have bank loan, correct. We have bank loan which they have already taken as 30,000, correct. Now this bank loan which is taken as 30,000, did we do any adjustments? Yes, we issued shares for 14,000, so we are removing that, making it 16,000. And then I can't forget, I have provisions for onerous contract. My provision for non-current liability, I'm taking 22,500 or 2,250. So I'm gonna simply take 2,250 because I'm working it to thousands here. Are we clear? Therefore, my total here would be 18,250. Correct? Total non-current liability. And then finally, what do I have? Still, I'm running out of space. See, current liabilities. If you look at my current liabilities, I'm sure I have trade payables. So how much is my trade payables? They have given me 4170 equals 4170, but my trade payables had some adjustments to do. So I remember we have overcharged interest of 350. So I'm going to reverse that minus 350, 3820. I know there is also provisions here. I'm going to take my provisions, and my provisions for current liabilities would be 1125. Okay. Let's go back, check if you have anything. Everything is taken. Nothing there. No taxes, no interest payable. All done. All done. All done. All done. Okay. We are in the latter part of the question, and we are going to get the question balanced. So therefore, I have my total here. Now I'll take my total equity and liabilities equals 4945 plus 18250 plus 66045 gives me 89,240. 89,240. Does it balance? It is balancing, and it will always balance. So there you go. We have entirely worked around this question together. Are we clear?
Now, probably if we show the answers in thousands instead of showing in millions.
Yeah. You can say if you want
Add
to.
3 zeros.
You okay? Entirely? Understood? No confusions. Take few minutes, go through the question, go through the answer on your own. I want you to properly figure out and ask if you have any problems so that we can sort it. I give about 5 minutes. You can do it.
In held for sale, why given the fair way simply to confuse us?
No, basically what you can do is at this particular point, what is happening on 1st of July 2011, your value is coming down by, at that point itself, it is coming down by 1500 minus 1140. On 1st of July itself, there is an impairment. There is a further impairment. So basically, 1500 minus 1140 would have been impairment at that particular point in time, which is 360. Plus now from that, there is a further impairment 2100. So total impairment I have directly taken as 400. If you want number one, you can take 360 separately and 40 separately. Understood? No?
The sale proceeds 1,100 equal batch.
Yes, so that is the value that you are having.
That's what the sale proceeds.
Correct. Value dot cost or NRV, whichever is lower. Now. Remember?
But this,
And IFRS 5 we studied. We treat it same similar to inventory.
for the assets.
Inventory is also asset. No? So, how's it going? All okay? Are we clear? Are we fine?
Yes.
Are we getting better?
Only the contract level set now, whichever is lower, we have to record.
Sorry?
Whichever is lower, we have to record it. But they have actually sold the asset. So that's why we have recorded 1,000.
Correct. But at that point, they would have valued it at 10 RB. No? Selling price is in RB.
That's what is 1,100.
Yes. But they are not selling on 30th June. They are selling on 1st of July.
Next year. Okay.
That's why I put the dates. So on 30th June, you had the asset plan. Students who have done exams in the past, you've done, all of you all have done, no? Only three. Okay. So, three you have done, right? One, two. Boys, no one. This is the first time. Okay. Right. So, fine. We are taking a short break there. Okay. Not a big break. And when we come back, we are going to start doing a ratio analysis. Like I said, I've got a good question, a solid question. I'm going to tell you how to approach exactly in the exam. So we will see how to do that also. Okay. See you guys soon. Guys, we are taking only a 15 minutes break, okay?
அது இண்டிவிஜுவலா Onerous in the contract and back on அந்த கான்ட்ராக்ட் பர்ச்சேஸ் இந்த வேர்ட் after the contract only IFRS starting போயிடுச்சு அதுதான் கொஞ்சம் கன்ஃபியூஷன் ஒரு நாள் தங்கச்சிங்களோட வீட்டு ரெக்கார்டிங் பார்த்துட்டு இவர் பேசுறது ஒரு சுட்டு புரியுதா அது வந்து நம்ம பிரியாணியா He brought biryani, bro. எனக்கு காலையில ஒன்னாலே கோவா போயிடு பட்டன் நாளைக்கு 12 o'clock அவடத்துக்கு ஷார்ப்பா போயிடுவேன் நான் இங்க இருந்து இது பிரேக் ரேடியோ சிட்டி ஸ்பெஷல் இன்வென்ட்
Actually, so did you take any paper bundle of paper yesterday?
இதுல என்ன ஒரு பிரச்சனை பைக்ல வந்து
No, there was one person in the class who was wearing blue color churidar or something. Yeah.
பைக்ல வந்தாங்க அப்படியே கூட்டிட்டு வந்தாங்க கரெக்டா இருக்கும்
Wait.
ஏன்னா இப்ப உட்கார்ந்தானா இங்க உட்காந்து ஸோ அது பெட்டர் இந்த கம்பெனி கொடுத்த மாதிரி அப்படி சொல்றேன் நம்ம கார்ல போனா திரும்பி ரிட்டர்ன் அதுதான் சரி எத்தனை அப்படியே அது இல்லை வீட்டுல அவளே பிரச்சனை எனக்கு நாங்க அவ்வளவு பேசிட்டு இருக்கோம் அவளுக்கு சும்மா போயிட்டு
Hello. Yeah, right now I am in CHO3. Do not turn on the video. So I want to pause it. And, I just want to connect the AT make. Can you please assist me?
பைட்ஸ்
These are the three answers.
அது எனக்கும் எங்க வீட்லயே கொடுத்துருப்போம் இருக்கு அதுல இருக்கு நான் சாப்பிடுறேன்
Yeah, it's great.
சாப்பிடுற பைட்ஸ்
Audio, because I can see the light on here.
dark chocolate, coffee,
So check whether yeah, right. Okay, one second. I will connect directly. No, I can't do that. Why? Because if I directly connect,
இது சூப்பரா இருக்கு
then what will happen?
நல்லா லிக்விடா போட்டுருக்கேன் இன்னைக்கு வந்து அதேதான் ஆனா வெறும்
Now it, yeah, see. No, not there. Here. Yeah, here. I will point the mouse pointer. See. This is.
ஏடே கிடையாது இது வந்து வடிகட்டலாம் முடியாது வடிகட்டனா
No, that is. I mean, here we will change the output. This is the input. See, audio input capture. This is the output.
எல்லா நட்ஸுமே
Sure. But input is more important. Why? Because output, no. So output means like TV volume, no. These things.
நான் வந்து ஒரு வாரத்துக்கு இது கேரி பண்ணனும் அதுக்கு அப்புறம் அது அப்படியே
Yeah.
ஸ்விட்ச் பண்ணனும்
That is okay. Because I have disabled it, you just turn it on. I will move away from the screen now. You turn it on and also resume the recording. No, not that. Record that I will. And also I have that 2 bar, no, to stop recording. One second. I will. Yeah, click on that. I will.
இந்த மாதிரி ஐடியா எடுத்து என்னோட மெட்டபாலிசமே டிஃபரெண்ட் ரொம்ப ஹையா மெட்டபாலிசம் பண்றது ரொம்ப கஷ்டம் இப்ப நான் சாப்பிட்டேன் வித்தின் இந்த கிளாஸ் முடிச்சு நான் டைஜஷன்
ஆனா அவ்வளவு வேலை செய்வோம் கஷ்டமா
அது பிளட்டோட அந்த இது ப்ளோ தான் மெட்டபாலிசம்கான ஃபுட் சாப்பிடு இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆயிடும் அதுக்கு தனியா அந்த
ஃபைபர் நிறைய
சாப்பிடணும் ஆன்டிஆக்சிடென்ட் அந்த மாதிரி ஃபாலோ பண்ணியா இல்லையா ஃபுட் எல்லாம்
மண்டே நான் ஃபுல் ஒர்க் அவுட் பண்ணேன்
எப்படி இருக்கு டிஃபரன்ஸ் தெரியுதா இப்போ
ஆக்சுவலி அன்னைக்கு வந்து ஃபுல் டே நம்ம எல்லா மிஷினுமே
சூப்பரா இருந்துச்சு நான் இதுக்கு வந்து இப்போ ஒரு கைட் சொல்றேன்
எனக்கு டயட் தான் இப்ப பிரச்சனை
டயட் 80% ஃபுட் தான் 20% தான் நான் சொன்ன
என் வீட்ல என்ன பண்றாங்க தெரியுமா நான் போய் டயட் எடுத்தாலே அன்னைக்கு போய் ஏதோ ஒரு கடையில இருந்து ஏதாச்சும் வாங்கிட்டு
ஓகே நான் நீ don't stop, okay வா you eat கொஞ்சமா கட் பண்ணு நான் எடுத்தோனேலாம் கட் பண்ணல you eat okay பட் ஆனா வந்து நீ வந்து உனக்கே செல்ஃப் பனிஷ்மென்ட்டா வொர்க் அவுட்ல காட்டிடு that will burn
கார்டியோ வாரத்துக்கு எவ்வளவு?
cardio நீ ஒரு வாரத்துக்கு ஒரு வாட்டி பண்ணிடுவோம்
Cardio is waste.
டெய்லி
Cardio is waste.
ஆமா நீ எவ்வளவு வெயிட் லிஃப்ட் பண்றியோ அவ்வளவுக்கு அவ்வளவு வந்து உன்னோட லைஃப் ஸ்பேன் வந்து இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகும்
Cardio la waste ஆகாது. I did only cardio.
காலையில எழுந்துச்சு அதெல்லாம்
Not exercise, அது ஒரு good for health தான்.
Weight lifting
ஒரு நாளைக்கு ஆக்டிவா இருந்தா பாடி மூவ்மெண்ட்ஸ் இருந்தாலே எல்லாம் போகுது. நம்ம பிரச்சனையே நம்ம இருக்கிற இடத்துலயே இருந்து எக்ஸசைஸ் பண்ணணும்.
நீ நிறைய வாட்டர் தான் போத்த அவரை ஏன்னா நீ வந்து படிக்கட்டு ஏறி இறங்கி வாரத்துல ஒரே ஒரு நாள் ராத்திரி 20 minutes ஓகேவா ஏன்னா ஆல்ரெடி we are walking பிரியா வந்து வெயிட் ட்ரெய்னிங் வெயிட் லாஸ் கன்சல்டேஷன் கொடுத்துருக்கோம்
எனக்கு broad shoulders தெரிஞ்ச மாதிரி எனக்கு broad shoulders
அதெல்லாம் ஒண்ணும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை எவ்வளவு எரும மாடு மாதிரி வெயிட் இருந்தாலும் சரி நீங்க நம்ம பாடி வந்து அனுஷ்கா செட்டி மாதிரி அனுஷ்கா செட்டி தெரியும்ல அனுஷ்காக்கு அப்படிதான் broad shoulder ஹைட்டா இருக்கறனால
அக்கா இதை 2 நிமிஷத்துல எடுக்க மாட்டாங்க. I asked you and out for disposal.
actually couple bird தான் last
Oh, that's why I didn't call you. I was pissed off totally. நான் நினைச்சேன் டேடா அது நான் பட்டின பக்கமா போயிட்டு சாப்பிட்டு அது வேற ஒரு that cafe girl problem already sorted. What did you do? Like நம்ம வரல, அவனை கழட்டி விட்டு நம்ம போலாம்னா பிளானா போட்டேன். அவன் வந்து நீ வரல முடிச்சுப்பா நம்ம போலாம் கன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணாங்க.
சரி,
வாட் ஹேப்பன்?
இன்னைக்கு நீ கூட்டு போறீங்க.
ஆமா,
வேற யாரும் தான் வரல.
இன்னைக்கு வந்து நம்ம மட்டும் தான் போறோம்.
இல்ல, வேற எதுவும் plan எல்லாம் சொல்லுங்க. cafe ல அது cafe
ஓகேவா, 2 பேர் இருக்காங்க. ஒரு காய் வந்து
எனக்கு
very
சொல்லுங்க,
long.
அது சொல்லுங்க, நான் வந்து கேக்குறேன்.
சீரி வந்து சொல்றேன். குரூப்ல போடுறது
அதான்
தான் வந்து டேட் பண்ணலாம். ஃபேக் மாதிரி
குரூப்ல
இல்லையா? We are friends. Actually வந்து இந்த ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் நாங்க நேம் விட்டு ஓகேவா, பட் ஆனா சிச்சுவேஷன்ஷிப் கூட சொல்றேன் இல்ல இருடி சொல்ல முடியாது. ஆனா அந்த திங்ஸ் என்ன அப்படின்னா, அவன் வந்து என்னோட சின்ன ரெண்டாவது வந்துட்டு ஓகே சின்ன பையன். அது வந்து இந்து பட் இதே பிடிக்கும் முஸ்லீம் வந்து ரொம்ப அவனுக்கு ஈடுபாடு இருக்கு ஓகேவா. பட் ஸ்டில் வந்து அவங்க அப்பா எல்லாம் பண்ணி கல்யாணம் பண்ணுவானான்னு கேட்டா அதெல்லாம் நிறைய டவுட் இருக்கு. சோ இது மாதிரியே ஒரு வருஷமா நான் டிராவல் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். சாக்ரிஃபைஸ் பண்ணி வருவானா எனக்கு தெரியாது ஓகேவா. பட் ஆனா வந்து we have some wavelength ஓகே. அதாவது ஒரு சைலன்ஸ்ல எங்க 2 பேருக்கும் நிறைய அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் ஆகும்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. So almost more than 1 year we are carrying this relationship. We didn't get any name on the relationship. Okay,
you know that you're going to date with somebody else. I'm black sheep baby.
போன டேட்டை நான் ரெடி பண்ணேன். போட்டு இது பண்ணது ப்ளீஸ்
பண்ணுங்க இப்ப தெரியுது.
What so yesterday by mistake you might have taken a bundle of sheet, exam sheet. I mean on your bag, no? So Akifa, you are Akifa, right? So when you were keeping the papers from the first bench in session 1, so there was a bundle of sheet that was there. Exam sheet, 1 page. No, just like
this is only PK.
Why am I taking the papers?
Ah,
What do I have use of?
no, I mean
Yesterday itself a person came to me and asked, did you take the papers? I told, why am I going to take the papers?
yeah, okay.
See, I took only this. You can see this.
Okay.
I wrote yesterday, today also I'm doing the same one. Or if you can check my bag.
No.
what happened? No, all of the சரி ஓகே கம் டு தி பாயிண்ட். லாங் ஸ்டோரி ஷார்ட்டா சொல்லிரோம்.
Lunch left, are you going to discuss? Send a picture. It's getting YouTube.
You wanna like?
Yeah, just send a picture. I'll do it.
Cool.
Okay, let's come back. Let's come back and we are going to look at ratios and we are going to see how to simplify ratios. Okay, superb. It's a past paper question. It's a past paper question, and probably we can expect something like this in the exam. If we are getting something like this in the exam, we're going to see how to rework this. Okay, superb. Now the requirement says entirely we've been given 20 marks. We've been given 20 marks, and in the exam I'm gonna exactly tell you how to get your 20 marks. Now guys, coming back every mark equals to a point, and every point is a sentence. Every point is a sentence, and a sentence doesn't have to be more than 2 lines. Sometimes a sentence can be 1 line. So you got to keep that in mind, because one of the failures of interpretation questions is where students try to overdo things or they don't perform at all. We know when it comes to interpretation, we got to make sure in the exam we tell the examiner, okay, what has happened and why has something happened. There's been an increase in GP margin. Yes, why? We are going to give why as a main response in the exam. Are we clear? Superb. Okay. So calculate for treats co the equivalent ratios to those provided for confectionery manufacturing sector. So here once again there is a manufacturing sector. Calculate for treats co the equivalent ratios to those provided for confectionery manufacturing sector. So they have given us the sector ratios. We are going to calculate for treat the equivalent ratio. That gives me only 5 marks, my dear, in the exam. Number 2, analyze the performance and financial position of trade in comparison to its sector averages. So you're going to do a performance analysis and a financial position analysis. Are we clear? Now guys, these requirements are very, very common in the exam, and it requires a lot of practice for you before you do the exam to get it right. Now our objective in the exam, out of 20, we have to somehow get more than 16. We have to get more than 16, and I'm going to tell you how to get that more than 16. How to get this 16 plus 15, 16 plus in the exam. Okay, to comfortably get the 50 marks in the exam. Okay, that's our objective. Superb. Let's go back. Take a proper 5 minutes on your own without any noise, please. Read the question on your own. Read the question on your own. Try to understand what has happened, what is happening in comparison to the sector averages. Okay. And this is the heart of your answer, your notes. Your notes, most of the students fail this requirement because they don't connect the notes. Your notes is your heart. You should make sure your answers are connected, your interpretation is connected to the notes. If you don't do that, don't expect good marks in this section. The notes are given with a reason, and you got to make sure you understand why these notes are given in the exam. Are we clear? Okay. Just go through it and then we will do it together. Done? Done? Okay. Now we're going to go back and start answering this together. Okay. Now coming back, I am doing my fourth question under marathon. So already we've practiced enough and more questions in our class. We've got questions. This is our fourth question, and tomorrow we are also looking at a mock entirely. Plus we are not done there. Tomorrow is the 14th. I have about another 20 more days for the exams. In between, now it's time for us to meet continuously. I will be also recording the mock that is released by ACCA. ACCA will be releasing a mock, I think, on the 15th or 16th. I'll be doing a recording on my own and then I will release it for you as well. Okay, brilliant. Now, coming back, what do we have? We've got treats co, which manufactures confectionery. But guys, you know by now, very simply what is happening. Calculate treats co's equivalent ratios to those provided for confectionery manufacturing sector. So ratio calculation is very simple. So we've got the ratios. In the exam, I'm going to give you an approach. I want you to strictly follow this approach. I'm giving you an approach. I want you to strictly follow this approach, right? You have your ratios. You have your ratios, right? And you have your sector average ratios, sector ratios. And I want you to give your commentary here. Wherever you can connect, you have to connect and give your commentary here. So we are not missing anything. Your commentary has to be here. Where you can't cover a ratio, but you want to give additional information, you can start giving your response here. Meaning we are making sure for all the ratios, as much as possible, we are giving our points. That is the easiest way in the exam to crack this. So what are the ratios that are required from me to calculate? My ratios are going to be ROCE, return on capital employed. There you go. ROCE, return on capital employed. They say net asset turnover. Net asset turnover. We've looked into all these ratios individually before, and we've done questions also. We know the formulas, and then we have gross profit margin, and then we have operating profit margin. Now I have few concerns here which I believe your examiner will definitely test in this particular session in terms of operating profit margin. When you take your operating profit margin, you got to make sure that you can't have investment income. No investment income out. Make sure that there is no investment income, number one. Number two, you can have investment income. You can have investment income only when your company's core activity is an investment company. Your company's core activity, you're into investments. In that case, you can have investment income. If not, you can't have. So I'm expecting this could be a Can you guys hear me?
Asking.
Can someone just go to? Can someone go online and check on YouTube?
Still no. They are texting in the group. Still same one.
I've got access to it.
They've got a hard time. Really, computer.
No,
No.
no,
No.
no, 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 no.
Now it's audible.
It's audible. It's audible, right?
No.
Okay, it's working.
No.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Superb. Okay. So, guys, in the exam, what am I going to do? I am going to take my sector ratios here, and I have my company's ratios, streets ratios, and I'm going to compare both, and I'm going to give my commentary here. Okay, so make sure your commentary is solid. You will get 1 mark per point, per good point, and your point has to be a sentence, a line. Okay, make it very, very clear to the examiner, and then we are going to do it together. Okay, first I want you to get the ratios for me, please.
இப்போ sector ratios ஓடதெல்லாம் எழுதுனப்புறம் மாற்றம் பார்க்கலாம்.
No, you don't get marks for that. Okay? So are you trying to say
She didn't read the technical.
exactly? So are you trying to say you copy paste the question paper, you'll get marks? Okay, now there you go. You've got your ratios, and I want you to start working on the ratios on your own, and then we will do it together one by one. Okay. ROCE. Okay, you can go back. You can check here. Information to take
Okay.
on your own. On your own, please. No discussion. Nobody's going to help you in the exam. Operating profits, how much is it? Guys online, you can also tell me. Whoever is on YouTube, you can give me the figures. I'm checking YouTube as well now. I'm checking YouTube as well now. Guys on YouTube, you can also start sharing the answers. I am checking YouTube as well. Your ROCE will be, how do you get your ROCE? Operating profits over capital employed. Okay, superb. Your operating profits is going to be 7,466 over your capital employed, which is your total equity plus your non-current liabilities, 25,968 plus 33,621. So I'm going to go back. In the exam, you can simply, you don't have to give the formula. That's out, not required. You can simply take 7466 equals 7466 divided by, open brackets, 25,968 plus 25,968 plus 33,621. 33,621 gives you 12.53%. Everybody got it? 12.53%. Everybody, are you getting it?
Yes.
Okay, superb. That's done. Next, we're going to look at net asset turnover. Our net asset turnover. Our net asset turnover, once again, what is our ratio? How do we calculate it? We'll take our revenue over our capital employed. Our revenue is 214553 equals 214553 over our capital employed. Our capital employed will be, once again, we just got our capital employed, I remember, which is 25968 plus 33621, correct? Which is 3.6 times. Which is 3.6 times. Next, we've got gross profit margin. Next, we've got gross profit margin. So let's go back. Gross profits. How much is our gross profits? Our gross profit is at 106,544 over 214,553. So 106,544 over 214,553 gives me 50% as my gross margin, gross profit margin. And then I've got my operating profit margin, which takes operating profits over my revenue. My operating profits is 7466 equals 7466 over 214533, which gives me 3%. 3%. Okay, which gives me 3%. That's done. And then I've got my current ratio, which is current assets over current liabilities. Take my current assets. My current assets is standing at 47,996. 47,996 over my current liabilities, which is 5391. I think we are not able to meet our liabilities on time, because you see 47,996 and 5391, it looks a bit tough for us. So 5391 gives me 0.952. I told you we are struggling to meet our liabilities. Inventory turnover days. Our inventory turnover days, we are going to do the calculation. So our closing inventory is 3393. So equals 3393 over cost of sales, which is 108009. 108009 into 365 days gives me 102 days. Oh my God, we are struggling. We are struggling to convert our inventory into cash. So I assume our cash position is also not that great. And then I'm going on to gearing. Gearing, they say debt over equity. How much is my debt? My long-term debt is standing at 33,621 over my equity 25,968. So equals 33,621 over 25,968 gives me 129%. That's a staggering debt amount that I have. That is massive. And then I have receivable days. My trade receivables over revenue into 365, which is equals 17,603 over my revenue will be 214,553 into 365. There you go, 30 days. So, well, I compare myself with the sector. My performance look good or not that great?
Not that great. Not that great.
Sorry?
It's so bad.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Okay. So I'm getting response saying that it's so bad. The response is bad or the company is bad.
Companies, there is liquidity problem.
Okay, there is liquidity problem. They say the company is bad, but that alone will not explain the problem. We need to dive in further, understand where exactly we are going wrong. Okay, so we are going to take few minutes, read the question together. We've understood the ratios. Okay, so now I'm in the exam. I am going to read the scenario. Treat manufacturers confectionery. The following sector average ratios have been obtained for the year ended 30th September 2016. Your ratios are ROCE. your net asset turnover, GP margin, operating profit margin, current ratio, inventory turnover period, gearing, and receivables collection period. Now, if you ask me individually each and every ratio, what happens, what it means, I have already covered in my recorded session. How this changes and what impact that they will have on the profit or loss statements. I've covered it individually. If you've not gone through it, please make sure you go through it, and please come back because you will understand it better what I'm going to do now. Superb. Going further, my revenue 214553. Okay, it's there, and I've got my cost of sales 108009. We are a manufacturing entity. We manufacture. Okay. Gross profit, operating expenses, profit from operations, finance cost, profit before tax, taxation, and we have a profit. We have a profit. But one thing that I can see here, when you look at this, one problem that you see with this statement, what could it be? What is one problem that you could see with this statement?
Operating expenses.
What is the operating expense issue?
Administration. It's very
Based on what you're saying, it's very high.
That's almost
Okay. You're saying operating expenses and cost of sales are very, very high. Okay. I'm talking about, yes, probably as a statement that you take. But for me, do I have a good comparison to compare this? Meaning what? I don't have last year's financial statements. So I do not know if there is an increase in revenue or a decrease in revenue, for example. So, well, I would say as a part of my conclusion, I don't have enough information. So I really, really don't have enough information. So, um, past year performance is not available that restricts the analysis. Yes or no? Now I can't go beyond and say, okay, from last year to this year, what has happened? Because I have not seen it here also, correct?
yes, sir.
So that's one disadvantage when I see the financials at a glance. Because I can't go and compare what has happened from last year to this year. Are you clear? Super. Statement of financial position. Okay, property, plant, and equipment. They're given a note, inventory, trade, and other receivables. Okay, now what is happening? Something is missing here. Meaning cash is missing. Company doesn't have cash. That's a big problem in terms of working capital. So I need to make sure that I don't forget it. I don't forget it. I have to plug in somewhere here, current ratio. So cash flow issues, just that I don't forget. I'm just writing it as I read. So I can develop my points. Are we clear? Super. Ordinary shares are the components of equity, retained earnings 5363. Okay. Okay. Borrowings, trade and other payables, bank overdraft. I have good overdraft with me, so I can't forget that. Yes. Overdraft. I need to see what is happening. Correct. Looks a good overdraft. Current tax liabilities. Okay, that's it. And I have got some information. I want to understand this information. This is where I start framing my answers. The following information is also relevant. The property, plant, and equipment relates to retail stores operated by T. Okay, you are T, you have your retail store. So you manufacture. Through your manufacturing, you have your own retail stores and the manufacturing plant, all of which are depreciated on a straight line basis over 20 years. The original cost of these assets was 637.84 million, and the directors are now considering replacing and updating much of the plant. What do you think with that statement? Oh, just read that again. Read that again. What do you think? What do you think? Don't jump the gun here. Replacement will increase our asset, no? Correct. Correct. But connect it like this. Why can't we connect it like this? You itself came and told me, Zian, look, our operating expenses are very high. If our operating expenses are high, why do they think they are replacing and updating much of their plant and machinery? Why? Because probably your assets are damaging. Your repair cost is high. Your maintenance cost is high. Probably there is impairment. Because your assets are old, probably. If not, they will not replace or update. So that could also explain the reason why our operating expenses are high.
20 years.
Are we clear? Are we clear? Now then we have another problem. Okay. Now because our assets could be having a lot of wear and tear, it's not generating enough probably revenue. And that could be one of the reasons why our ROCE is falling down. Our ROCE has a significant impact. Our ROCE is falling down significantly compared to the sector. So our ROCE to fall down significantly, it could be due to low profit margin. Our profits are very, very, very less. Our profit margin is very less. Operating profit margin is very less because of our operating cost going up.
You can interpret that in net as external loans also.
We are coming there, don't worry. But when we take about ROCE, ROCE is made up of operating profits over capital assets. Now, what they are going to do is they are going to capital employed. They are going to invest further in assets. Meaning, in the short run, what will happen? Your ROCE will come down or go up. It will come down. Meaning, further impacting ROCE. In the long run, yes, if you make the right sort of investment, it can go up. But in the short run, your ROCE will drop. Are we clear? Are we clear? Yes. Makes sense. Yes. Then comes another problem. If you are planning to invest in plant and machinery, you need money. Do you have money? No, you don't have money. So what you have to do is you have to go and borrow, or you have to issue shares. Either way, your capital employed, your denominator is going to be affected, bringing ROCE down or increasing it, even making ROCE further deteriorated. See, for ROCE, we have already got about 3 points. I can connect it. So in the exam, okay, I've got some points. I know ROCE is where I'm going to start off with primarily. So number one, immediately I know my ROCE is a primary shareholder ratio, which is a concern for me. Yes or no? So I would say, okay, ROCE is a primary shareholder ratio. This is first let's try to understand it. Let's I'll give you time, right? This is significantly lower to sector or higher than sector. This is significantly lower than sector average. Correct. Why? Because of the low profit margin, low operating profit margin generated by trade. This is due to lower operating profit margin generated by trades. In other words, not creams, it's trades. T. In the other words, you can say T in the exam. Okay. Now look at my thinking. I want you to follow the same thing in the exam. Okay. I have given a point. I'm justifying my point. Hey, look, it's low. But why is it low? Because of the low operating profit margin that we are generating. I'm justifying it. And I'm saying, hey, look, this is a primary shareholder ratio. I'm only talking about ROCE here. I'm not diverting. I'm telling the examiner, hey, look, I'm giving you my 1 point. Give me my 1 mark. I'm done. I'm not overdoing it. Now that I'm done with this, now I can talk about my second point. Now, what is my second point, my dear? I told you we are planning to invest in assets in the short run. Correct. Now we can say number 2. T is planning to invest in assets in the short run. In the invest in assets. Okay. Invest in assets. Because they are looking at replacement. Correct. In the short term, what will happen to ROCE? Will it fall down or go up? It will fall down. In the short term, ROCE will drop further. Correct. However, in the long run, if you make the right investment, ROCE will your assets will generate cash flows. However, with the right investments, ROCE will improve in the future. Well, look at how I'm telling the examiner. Hey, look, this is what you're trying to say. In the short run, it can further go down. But in the long run, it can improve. Give me my 1 mark. That's it. I want my 1 mark. That's it. Are we clear? What's my third problem? Cash. Where am I going to bring the cash? Number 3. T is struggling with cash flows. It is at overdraft. Any investments in assets will require significant capital. Therefore, any borrowings or issue of shares will further decrease the ROCE. I'm telling the examiner, hey, look, I've given you super solid 3 points. Give me my marks. You take Kaplan, they would have gone into length of pages. That's tough. You can't do that. Neither can I. No, I don't want to do that. I'm telling the examiner, hey, look, this is the problem, ROCE. I've taken the problem. I've given you 3 solid points. Now, if you start to write in paragraph, you will not know how much to write. You will overdo it. You will write a paragraph which will have about 2-3 points mixed together, but you will not get your marks.
Sir, இப்படியே எழுதினாலே மார்க் கொடுத்துருவாங்களா?
That's what I'm doing. Why am I even showing you all this?
No. That is, they mentioned no performance position of being.
Yeah, so this is my performance and this is my position.
Okay.
My performance is my P&L, my position is my statement of financial position. So I've got all my ratios here. Whatever I can't cover here, I'll cover here. That's my logic in the exam. But having said that, in the exam, where am I? I've got my first 5 marks here, I think. How much? Okay, 5 marks I've already got. And here I've got 3 marks. I've told the examiner, hey, look, I'm giving you points. You have to give me my marks. 8 marks I've already got. Structure of the answer is important. How you structure it is how you're going to get your marks. Are we clear? With ROCE, I don't have anything to do. I'm done with that. Now I know 8 marks got. Here I have 2 issues to speak about. So I've already got my 10 marks. Meaning I am above my passing line. If I speak about cash flow issues and overdraft. Correct. And then I give a proper conclusion. I get about 2 marks. 12 marks already got. Planning the answer. Plan the answer. Tell the examiner, hey, look, I want my points. I'm giving you my points. I'm not going to overdo it. If I overdo it, I will run out of time. This is where most of the students fail in the exam. You go check your analysis by the examiner. Your examiner would have said your ratio analysis, you messed it up. The reason, you know sometimes what to write, but you do not know how much to write. From day one, ever since I started my classes, I've been telling you 1 mark equals a point is a sentence cannot go more than 2 lines. Applies even in professional level. Because you are hearing it from a prize winner. I am a prize winner. So, and I've been doing this subject over about 12 years now. So, keep it simple. Give your points. Let's go further. Then coming back, we are talking about net asset turnover. When you take your net asset turnover, it looks much better than your sector average. But you're still planning to invest in assets, meaning your net asset turnover will drop or go up if you are going to invest in assets. In the short run, it will drop. So we can immediately talk about that and just go forward. Nothing much to talk about there. So, in comparison to the sector, T has a better asset turnover, but with investments in assets, this will fall in the short term. That's it. Don't worry too much about it. Now, guys, you can see I've not even read the entire question entirely. I just took only one point and I'm building my answer. I'm framing my answer. Trade paid a dividend of 7.14 million. Okay, how much are you paying? A dividend of 7.14 million during the year, despite the concern raised by some directors for the existing overdraft. Some directors came and told you, hey, look, don't pay dividends. But you said, no, I'm going to pay dividends. Do you think, is it a right move or a wrong move?
Wrong.
Wrong move. Let's question, where could I plug in my cash flow problem? I can plug in here. Already I have to speak about my cash flow issue. My current ratio is significantly lower. In other words, I'm struggling to meet my liabilities, which we already know. But I would just keep that. I'm going to talk about dividends and I'm going to come to cash flow issues once I read entirely, because I want to know if there's any points there. But dividend, I've read entirely. I can talk about it. So I'm going to plug my point here. Number three, T has made a significant dividends during the dividend payment during the year. Dividend payment during the year. Are we clear? Is it justifiable? It doesn't look justifiable. The reason for this does not look, I can't say the reason, but we do not know. With significant cash issues, this does not look a good strategy. And reasons for this have to be identified. Because they're not giving us a reason. Because even when directors have stopped, they have just said no, there were concerns, but nothing is addressed. The overdraft is used for working capital management. Okay, I've taken money for working capital management and does not form a part of the long-term financing. Okay, working capital is done by overdraft, meaning short-term credit comes at high interest. Is it good for the company? Not good for the company. Trade sells its product through supermarket chains in addition to its own retail stores. Most companies in the sector exclusively sell through their own retail stores. Any problem there? What is happening there? Okay, now let's take what is a dairy product? Tell me a cheese. Amul cheese. Okay. I'm the manufacturer of Amul cheese. I'm the manufacturer of Amul cheese. Okay. I'm manufacturing Amul cheese. Listen to me very carefully. I have two choices, two options. Number one, I have my retail outlets. I'm selling through my own retail outlets. Number two, I have supermarkets. You have this Tata supermarkets, you get the cheese there. I can sell it through them. Okay, now I have two options. What am I doing? I am selling through the supermarket, number one, and I also have retail stores. So I have two types of revenue generating mechanism.
Okay.
Which mechanism gives me higher profit? My own retail store or the supermarket? Ade, when you take the supermarket, it's a middleman. I will give it a profit, they will give a profit and sell it to you.
Own retail market.
If it's a retail market, they'll directly say, I'll directly sell it to the customer.
Ah,
So where will I make more profit?
retail.
Where will I get more profit?
Retail.
Own retail stores. Own retail stores, I have a bigger margin. Correct. Supermarket means these guys will hold on to the inventory. Number one, my inventory days is going up. Explains the reason.
The expenses will
Number two, my profit margin is less. So basically, treat sells to supermarket in addition to the own retail stores. Most of my sector exclusively sell through the retail stores. Exactly, they're getting more profit, more margin. They're getting more margin than me. Meaning what?
You're not able to compete.
We are not able to.
We are not able to
We are not able to.
achieve by ourselves.
Our comparison itself is useless. Our comparison itself cannot. My sector is doing a retail sale. I am having both. So my comparison itself, it's not useless. It's not proper. Now I am ArivuPro. I have my products, ACCA. But I go and check ArivuPro. I go and compare it with a company which is selling maybe petrol. Or maybe, okay, forget about petrol. Maybe qualification like AI, science, biology. Can we compare?
No.
So, me, I am into two mediums of sales. My sector primarily is into only retail sale. So, my comparison is a problem. So, and I take further conclusion. Comparison issues. Now, you have to think through this. I'll tell you, it's not easy. A lot of practice has to come into place. And this could also be a reason why my sector and myself is not great. Are we clear? Are we clear? Yes or no? So now I know I have a fair idea of what is happening. Now I'm going to slowly start answering. My gross profit margin. Okay. Compared to the sector, I'm okay. I'm not bad. I'm okay. But is the comparison great? No. You understand my point? So basically what I can do is I can start talking about my GP margin. GP margin looks okay compared to the sector. However, what I'm going to say is, look, the comparison is not too justified. T operates through retail and supermarkets, whereas primarily the sector operates through retail outlets Correct. Therefore, my profit margin through my supermarket comparatively will be lower. Therefore, profit margin through supermarket will be lower. So, what is my point, my dear? What am I trying to establish here? I'm trying to establish, well, my gross profit margin is lower. The reason for it to be lower is because I operate in two ways. My sales mix, I have two ways of doing my sales mix. Whereas my sector is primarily dominated through retail outlets. So that explains why my profit margin is low. GP margin is low. Are we clear? Yes or no? Are we clear? Yes or no? I'm telling the examiner, look, this is my point. I'm giving you my point because I want my marks. Are we clear? But having said that, for me, it looks like they're still doing a good job when you compare with the sector. 50% is good GP margin. 50% as a whole you take is a good GP margin. Why do you think they are getting? Now, forget about the sector. If sector is not there, let's say there is a competitor. Competitor is getting only 30%, 35%. We are getting 50%, it's good. Let's say there's no competitor. As a percentage GP margin, 50% is good, right? You're making immediate 50%.
That's how if we follow the retail market only, then if we compare it's correct. But now we are doing it retail as well as with the supermarket. Then we are supposed to gain more profit, more margin. No?
No. How come? Because your margins are very high. Supermarkets, they don't give you a big margin.
Have a good control in that.
Sorry?
Cost. They will have a good control in direct cost.
We're talking about GP margin. I've not got down. Why do you think we have a better GP margin? Why? Because of the size. We are a manufacturing company. We are doing both supermarket and retail outlets. So our business, our size can be big, meaning we can get bulk discounts. We can get bulk discounts. Because probably we are getting bulk discounts, our cost is lower, increasing our GP margin. Let's go further. Let's answer. It appears Treat is a massive, it's a big company. It's a big manufacturing company. You understand my point? It's a big manufacturing company. So what will happen if you are a big manufacturing company? You will be able to get massive discounts. Therefore, good GP margin can be maintained or could be maintained due to price savings through discounts, bulk discounts. So this explains why you could be having good GP margin. Are we clear? You're a bigger company, talk about Tata. They'll get at a very low price. Something like that. See, I'm telling my examiner, hey, look, I'm giving you my points. You have to correct my points and give me my marks. Are we clear? Done. Going back to operating profit margin. Now in the exam, how many points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 already got. My conclusion, I'm getting 2 marks if I properly give. 11 plus my ratio calculations 5. I've already got 16 in the exam. All that I have to do is 4 points I'm done. And getting the 4 points, we already know through operating profit margin, we have operating cost to talk about. There itself, I can have 2 or 3 reasons I get my 20 marks in the exam. Plan it. It's all about planning. It's all about focus strategy. And of course, at this point in time, it's very easy when I see my inventory turnover period. It is 25 to 100, 25 days to 102 days, meaning probably in my supermarket, they are holding on inventory for a very long time. Because when you take retail outlets, I will only have my product. If you take supermarkets, you'll have 1,000 products. Sometimes the products that they don't want to sell, they'll hide also. So inventory days is up because of that. My receivable days are also up. Why? Because of credit to supermarket. With retail outlets means I get cash right. So the sector will have cash days. So it also explains why justifiable reasons. Understood? Okay. Shall I start answering operating profit margin? Okay. But when you look at operating profit margin, it looks very, very, very less. It's a major concern. But I can bring in what? My operating cost. Because I know their repair and maintenance cost is quite high. So, number 1, operating profit margin looks significantly lower compared to the sector. This could there could be multiple reasons for this. There could be multiple reasons for this. One is repairs and maintenance cost of the asset could be high. Repairs and maintenance cost of the existing assets could be eating up profits. Now guys, look at the way I'm talking to the examiner. Hey, look, this is why it has come down. It has come down. This is the reason for it to come down. I'm not going beyond that. I'm keeping it very, very, very simple. My operating cost, when you take my operating cost, I'm having 2 types of revenue model. One is the supermarket revenue model. Number 2, it's the retail revenue model. My retail outlets are here. My supermarket is in Bangalore. Distribution cost. My distribution cost could also eat up my revenue. Further, operating profit margin could be lower due to high distribution cost, as T must be delivering to the supermarkets. This is killing my operating profit. Oh, where am I? Okay, here. Now you see, my second point is just one line. But I'm providing a justifiable reason. I don't want to connect my first point and second point. Now, if you put it in a paragraph, you will connect 10 points. The examiner will give you 1 mark. I'm telling the examiner, hey, look, I don't want 1 mark here. I know I have 2 marks here. I want to take my 2 marks. I'm showing it as a separate thing. So for that, don't say, no, OPM looks significantly lower compared to the sector. This could be due to multiple reasons for this. Okay, after that, repairs is 1 and don't say maintenance is 1. Okay, then you're not going to get your marks. Okay, repairs and maintenance itself is 1 cost, then I've showed it separately. Now, you don't try to be smarter than the exam. Okay, you understand my point? But in the future, what is going to happen to operating profit margin? What is going to happen? Now, okay. Now, one thing that we spoke about under this is also impairment. Now, operating profit margin could have got hit because my assets are old. I can speak about that. Number 3. Number 3. Operating profit margin could have also dropped due to impairment charges as the assets appear to be to be to be not usable. That's why they're replacing, no? So probably there could be indication of impairment.
And we can interpret in net asset ratio if there are more. The assets are less efficient if it's more here. But
Okay.
we have more than the market, like sector figures.
Sorry.
For net asset turnover, we have more than the sector
Yeah. So in the sector, we do not know what is happening. The comparison itself is wrong.
But we can tell we are less efficient. We can mention them.
We never mentioned it. We are less efficient. No.
No, we didn't mention.
We do not know.
Here.
Here, what I'm doing is I'm saying my operating profit margin could be affected because there could be impairment.
Yeah, you're saying it appears to be not usable. It's old. You're mentioning it here, right? So it could be less efficient also.
Well, here 3.6 times could be less efficient if you can have a good competitor comparison. Here you don't have a good comparison. We do not know what is sector made up of. That is my confusion.
That's why you give a general point.
Because we don't have enough information. That's my argument here also, right? Because we don't have proper comparison issues. We have problems there. But looking at this in the future, operating profit margin, what do you think? Your cost is going to go up or come down? What are your plans? You are planning to purchase assets or not purchase assets? If you purchase assets, it will result in what? Depreciation. So in the future, you will have higher depreciation. So you have to find a way where your profits, your revenue is overtaking your cost. Having said that, in the future, as T is planning to acquire more assets, this could further impact operating profit margin. However, with the right investment, revenue would grow. I'm saying, look, revenue will also have to grow. Are we clear? Cash flow issues, my current ratio. So I'm going to talk about that immediately. Current ratio is lower compared to the sector. T is obviously struggling to meet its liabilities on. So among your stakeholders, do you have a positive image or a negative image? Therefore, this would result in a negative goodwill. That's my point. I get my point. Overdraft. I have to speak about overdraft. They say you are entirely made up of overdraft for the working capital. You are dependent on overdraft. So you have to obviously go and talk about overdraft. Why? Because your cash is bleeding, and that is further affecting your payments. And what can also happen is you're probably having cost savings, bulk discounts, but because you don't have enough cash, you're not paying on time. With cash flows being a major problem to T. T may not pay its suppliers on time. Correct. This could result in suppliers discontinuing business with T. Correct? If you don't pay on time, they can discontinue the business. Overall, what has to happen? This has to be immediately resolved. T must immediately resolve this, as this may cause going concern implications. Are we clear? You may not be able to continue. Now, where am I in the exam? Look, 5 marks my ratio, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I've got two marks for conclusion. I've got to my 19. Now I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time immediately. What I'll try to do is I'll try to do some patchwork. I know I'm passing this area. I'll try to do my patchwork and I'm gonna go further in the exam. Meaning I'll make sure that I give my examiner confidence to mark by 20 points. I want my examiner to check, okay, look, this is my 20 points. Okay, so immediately if I see this, what is happening, an easiest way to come out of my exam, easiest way to resolve this problem would be my gearing, which is at 129%, meaning they've taken a loan probably, I don't know, because it shows there's a loan. So I can immediately address that. And I can come out of it in the exam to be on the safe side. Are we clear? So in the exam, I'll immediately get to this point and say, hey, look, gearing looks very high. So the financial risk is very high. There are problems with liquidity. So I do not know what is going to happen. So I have to immediately resolve this matter. Gearing looks pretty high, leading to a higher financial risk. Now, where will be the financial risk? There will be financial risk if I cannot cover my interest. Correct? What is happening with my interest cover? Can I cover my interest? Okay, I'll immediately go and check if I can cover my interest. My operating profit is 7466. My finance cost is 1329. My interest cover looks fine. Correct? Interest cover currently looks fine. However, T must immediately ensure there is adequate cash flowing in to make sure there is no problem with interest payments, because we have cash flow problem. In other words, why do we have cash flow problem? Because our inventory is being stuck in the supermarket for a very long time. So if we can convert this into cash, we are sorted. Inventory turnover period is quite high due to high level of inventory at the supermarket. So because you have high level of inventory in the supermarket, long inventory days, what is the impact? Products will get outdated. Your inventory write-off comes in. So probably your operating expenses could also have your profit margin is also eaten up by inventory write-off. This could also lead to high level of inventory write-off, impacting profits further. There's a lot of cash stuck within inventory. So immediately you have to find a way to bring in a credit control system where money is flowing in so that your survivor is not threatened. So number two, T must immediately address the issue of uh, inventory days. Inventory days. Issue the address of inventory days as high level of cash is stuck as inventory. If this can be resolved, liquidity issues can improve. And finally, receivable days. Yes, your receivable days is also affected. Why? You are giving credit to the supermarket. So com- comparing to the sector, comparing to the sector, trade receivable days are double, are almost almost double. There are high credit, high credit. There are credit period. Credit period is looks quite high, and T needs more attention. T needs more attention on credit control. This receivable days could also high receivable days could also result in what? Bad debts.
Bad.
This could also result in irrecoverable debts, further affecting profits. Further affecting profits. In the exam, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 points I have given entirely here. Now, just because I was able to do it like this, I'm able to give proper response. If I put it on just on paragraph, I'm gonna struggle. I'm gonna struggle. So I've covered all my points, but in the exam, you have to cover the points where you have to get about 16, 17 and get your conclusion. That's the best way. Don't try to overdo in the exam. I have my conclusion that I have to talk about. I have my conclusion that I have to talk about. So I'm going to talk about my conclusion and make it and conclude it. That's it. That's it. Let me tell you, your examiner's favorite area. But you see, with just few points, how I was able to gather information and put it across in words and justify it. Don't ever go to the examination hall with a mindset that you can tell the examiner, hey, look, this has gone up, this has come down, and my examiner is going to give me marks and I'm going to get my 50. No, you're not going to get that way. You have to give justifiable answers, convince the examiner what has. So I'll tell you, if you ask me, you have a lot of preparation to do before the exams, and this is how you have to approach in the exam. You get my point? Super. I'm going to give a conclusion. If you ask me, does the company have profits? Yes, the company has profit. Does the company have revenue? It has revenue, but they're struggling with cash. So we need to understand why they are struggling with cash. So that is one thing that I am concerned as a part of my conclusion. And number two, my comparison is a problem because I have two different sales mix companies that I am comparing. It's not really comparable. And of course, I need further information to make sure that my my analysis is even more conclusive. So coming back, I'm going to give a conclusion in the exam. I'm going to say T is making profits. T is making profits and revenue. However, T is struggling with cash flow issues, with overdraft being the main tool for working capital. Overdraft comes at high interest and may not be the suitable mechanism for operating the business. One. Further, sector is predominantly making sales through retail outlets, whereas T has a mixture of sales between retail and supermarket. So probably your operating profit margin is less probably of our sales mix. Now, what do I mean by sales mix? Maybe our retail outlet is giving more profits than supermarket. But I'm doing only 20% through retail market, 80% through supermarket. Should I change that? So I need more information about the sales mix. Further information is required to make the analysis more conclusive. More conclusive. More conclusive. Okay, what information do I require? Why are you all sad and quiet?
We are just focusing how you are writing and
Number one, past financial statements. I need that. I need to understand because I don't have comparable financial statements. Number two, I need competitor information. Competitor information that will give me a fair idea of what is happening. My GP margin, everything will give me a proper idea. I need details of sales mix between retail outlets and supermarkets. Number four, I want to understand SWOT analysis. Now, guys, you don't have to be very detailed. Okay, I'm just giving it because you can take any 4-5 points and complete it. Future management strategies and policies and any other relevant information. Now, I have given you points for more than 20 marks. I have done a bit more. Why? For understanding purposes. In the exam, you got to make sure you don't overdo it. I have overdone because entirely I'm planning. I was explaining you this. If you look here, I get 5 marks, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and another 2 marks here. About 23 marks I have to spot. But whatever you do, conclusion is a must by the examiner. So you can't say, no, hey, look, I've given about 20 points, so I'm going to skip conclusion. No, conclusion is a must. What you can do is you can maybe 1 or 2 points, you can remove it here in the exam. That's okay. But conclusion is a must. Or try to make this, I've given 2 or 3 points here. You can make it 2 points if you want to cover everything. But it's planning. It's planning. See how I planned my answer. My objective from first itself, I was with my points and my marks. I did not go away from there until the last one. For me, it was my marks. And for me, my points. Have I given 1 point? I've got my mark. I won't go away from that. You probably might think, okay, Zian, I'm giving more points. So, my examiner will pick the points, which are correct and give me marks, which are wrong and not give me marks. Doesn't happen. So justify it with your points and make sure you get your answers right. I'm giving you a proper 5 minutes to go through this entirely to understand what has happened. So when we are doing more questions, you get a fair idea. Quietly, on eyes on the screen, please.
சார் இப்போ நீங்க இந்த சம்ம சால்வ் பண்ணிட்டீங்க. வேற சம்ல வந்து எனக்கு இதை அப்ரோச் பண்றதுக்கு தெரியல அப்படின்னா we can send the doubts to you, sir.
No, sir, in Kaplan it's given para. Now you have simplified and you told us how to plug points. Now when we sit and prepare basic sum, we are not able to connect that this is for this.
Kaplan would have given, or your ACCA answer would have been given in paragraph, but the point can't change. If you go and check, most of the time I would have, taken the point which is very similar there. Now, these are the reasons why it could happen, right? 1 or 2 points I could have brought in, but we have to, at a point in time, me, Kaplan, or a student who has got 100 marks, we have to align.
So you are telling that both are same, but you have just showed it, presented it.
Well, not presented it separately, but how I have written it is also separate. I've made it very, very short for you, what is relevant for the exam. So in the exam, you need to understand, okay, now as you practice, you need to understand if you're covering the point. Covering the point is the most important area. You should be able to cover the point.
So while we are studying the whole para, we should study in the mindset of points.
Yes. Now when you're doing your answers, now you put up the ratios and you go to your answers. When you're reading the answers, probably you have the answers. You should be able to summarize, shorten it into points. Okay, if you have one paragraph which has 5 points, you should be able to get the 5 points, shorten it in your own words,
and connect it with the ratios.
Correct. Yes.
So
operating profit margin is connected to rate because Kaplan won't do it.
Exactly that.
You should be able to do it. If you try to memorize Kaplan and go, that means you're memorizing. You're not going to get marks there.
So you have to study points and you have to connect with what rate.
Correct. Yes. That's how it has to be. Now you look at the answer. The answer will tell you operating profit margin. Operating profit margin is connected to your ROC. So what you can do is you can shorten it, write it, keep it in your mind. Okay, fine.
What?
Correct.
We can have
Yes, exactly. You can't directly do it. It will take a lot of practice.
Because the Kaplan is very exhausting, sir.
Correct. Correct. They'll run into pages. But what Kaplan has to do is, or at ACCA, the suggested answers they'll have to do is they have to cover the entire population who is doing. My points can be different, your points can be different, but they have to have that. Correct. So they have to cover everyone. So they will not give you for 20 marks, they'll give you for 35-40 marks. That's a lot. If you just memorize that and go and vomit in the exam, you won't understand the context. Point, explain, shorten and answer. Now you would see, I would have never gone beyond 2 lines for a point.
Exactly.
I've kept it. I'm telling the examiner, hey, look, these are my points. Give me marks for my points. That's how it works. I can't write like the examiner, I'll tell you that. And I don't want to do that under exam conditions also. Why? Because I have only 40 45 minutes max. 40 45 minutes, if I can, even your examiner can't do it. Can't run into pages, that's tough. Maybe your examiner can, but I can't. So I want to make sure my point, I get my mark. Strategically, I write my answer. Are we clear? Okay, go through it, go through it, go through it. I know you have not gone through it. Are we clear? Understood? So that means there's a lot more for you to do,
Yes.
and you have to practice. You need to understand how to crack it. And we've been doing past papers. I think within the last 2 days is my fourth past paper done. Print, trades, gold, Dargent done. And tomorrow my plan is to do an entire mock paper with you. Hopefully, I'm trying to do the mock paper starting at 9 to 1 tomorrow. Most likely I should be able to complete it tomorrow, but if I am to sit and explain and do a lot of things, I won't be able to complete section C. However, section A and section B I'll be able to complete. In which case, section C I'll be having another session with you. Okay, so
Why don't we start with section C tomorrow?
the section A and B we have a lot to cover. So I want to do section C with you and A, but maybe I will take you through section C. Most likely we'll have time. Maybe I'll give you the points so that you can immediately develop it, and then maybe I will record it separately and send it to you, because I want to. I've been trying to do an entire. I know we've done some section A questions, but I feel that we. Huh?
Section B, we didn't.
Yeah, I want to look into some areas and do some questions. So that's the plan for tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. sharp. Hope whatever we did was clear, and we are getting into the technique of answering the exams. Exam is about technique, is about patience, it's about
Sir, interpretation itself, we will send you like நாங்களே எழுதி உங்களுக்கு சென்ட் பண்றோம் அது கரெக்டா லைக் எக்ஸாம்பிள் மாதிரி எங்களுக்கு மார்க் சொல்ல முடியுமா?
Yeah.
Yeah,
can do
review
that.
the-
So I can't do it if you are doing it in the last moment. By today, tomorrow, you have to start doing it and saying it to me.
Okay.
I can't do it if you send it to me last week of the exam. Anything after next week, I won't correct because you are not fit enough to send it to me. I'm so sorry. Because look, particularly here, I started July 2nd. I finished off the syllabus July 20th or 21st. Syllabus was done. And now it has been almost 3 weeks since I finished the syllabus, and I've not got any mocks for me to correct. You asked me to do questions that I've done, but I've not got any mocks to correct. But you need to understand that I'm not available always like that for you to ring and come into me. No, I'm not there like that. It's tough because I've got a lot of papers to correct. I have students who have sent me mocks. I have students who have sent me mocks which I'm already correcting. So only a certain amount of things I can do, right? So look, mocks. All these are mocks that I'm correcting. I've got a lot like that, about 70, 80 mocks that I'm correcting. So you've not sent it so far. It's a problem which I've asked you to do it. But until next week, I'll try to accommodate. After that, it's a bit tough, guys. Okay?
Today and tomorrow.
You have to start sending it to me. I will correct it and share my feedback. Okay. With that said, we are done for the day. I will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. You had a doubt.
The section.
Huh? Okay. You sent it to me.
Yeah, you send it.
I'm doing it tomorrow. You want a disposal with? A subsidiary disposal? No, you want? Yeah, I'll do something.
Only that type of question is there.
What is the question?
Word.
Third. I'll do the third question tomorrow entirely.
Sir, do make NC.
That has it.
That also.
But I have this thing already. I have a paper, but I'll try to see if I can in between do a disposal. Adjustment only. Okay guys, thank you so much, and I will see you all tomorrow. This one, right? The following trial balance related to a property.
Yeah.
What is the doubt in that?
Useful like given the solution, we changed it. So when a question is given, what we like most of it is 20 years.
And then what are the
ஆமா problem இல்ல என்ன புரியலையா அம்மா அப்படின்னா எப்படி கம்பேர் கொடுப்போம் அதான் தெரியாம தெரியாம சொல்றேன்
Then you're fine and you're happy. Hey, John. I can't draw. I do for you. I stay. See if you get like.
Bye.
எங்க வர
சும்மாதான் இருக்காங்க வீட்டுல அதனால நீங்க சும்மா எங்கேயா வாங்க சரி பைக்ல வந்துரு எங்க தான்
cash account, honestly.
அம்மா காசுக்காகலாம் வந்து டிலே பண்ணாத நாம பாத்துக்கலாம் கேஷ் எல்லாம் யோசிக்காத அது அப்புறம் பாத்துக்கலாம் நீ வா உங்க வீட்டுல நான் பேசுறேன் ஆமா உங்க அப்பா
மிச்சம் இருக்கிற 200 எப்பயாச்சும் என்ன பண்ண நீ சொல்றது காசுல சொன்ன புரிஞ்சுக்கணும் அப்புறமா பார்த்துக்கலாம்னு பார்த்துக்கேன் சும்மா டாக்டர் கேட்டு நெக்ஸ்ட் மந்த் ஆச்சு கொஞ்சம் கிளாஸ் இல்லைன்னா கொஞ்சம் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் பண்ணாம வச்சுருக்கோம் क्या बोला वो दे या क्लासरूम
इधर
पढ़ने के लिए
हाँ जाओ ना
हाँ
एक क्लासरूम में जाओ
है क्या अब बोलना, इसलिए हम अरेंज करना, हम ना कल ही लास्ट डे उसके ऊपर हम आके पढ़ने का है 2 वीक्स।
अभी एक क्लास में दो।
अब नहीं, कल के बाद।
ओके ओके।
कल बोलोगे
நர்சிங் கூட வரணும்னு நினைக்கல, வர கிளாஸ் இல்லைன்னு சொன்னாங்க.
நான் டிக்கெட் ரேஸ் பண்ணேன், கால் பண்ணாங்க, என்ன சொன்னாங்க, ஓகே மேம் சாரி ஃபார் தி இன்கன்வீனியன்ஸ், நான் அரேஞ்ச் பண்றேன் சொல்லிட்டு டிக்கெட் க்ளோஸ் பண்ணி வச்சிருக்கா. 2 மணிக்கு அப்புறமா தான் அவங்க 2 மணிக்கு அப்புறமா தான் அவங்க ஃபுல் டிக்கெட் க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிருக்காங்க.
எனக்கு மெசேஜ் வந்திருந்தது பாத்தியா? எனக்கும் அதுதான் 2 o'clock மேல இருக்கும்.
No, we have to attend டிக்கெட் க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிருக்காங்க. நான் ரேஸ் பண்ண query-க்கு என்ன பதில்? புரியலையே எனக்கு.
அட்லீஸ்ட் இந்த மாதிரி பண்றோம்ன்றது 2 weeks பிஃபோர் இன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணலாம். அட்லீஸ்ட் 1 week பிஃபோர் இன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணலாம். சில பேர் இதே டிபெண்ட் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க.
நீ நான் தான் மாட்டிக்கிறேன். சொல்லிட்டு
வர
வரேன்.
சிச்சுவேஷன் இருந்தா பரவாயில்ல, அவங்க அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிட்டாங்கன்னா பரவாயில்ல, சொல்லி பார்க்கலாம்.
வீட்லயே கிளாஸுக்கு இது இருக்கு எல்லாம் ஒரு 2 நாள் கூட அட்ஜஸ்ட் பண்ணலாம். போய் லைப்ரரி 2 நாள் கூட உட்காரலாம்.
இப்போ கால் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க, திடீர்னு கால் பண்ணாங்க. அவ்வளவுதான் பண்ண முடியாது.
என்ன பண்ண மாட்டாங்க, நம்புறாங்க. அம்மாவும் டெய்லி
இல்ல சொல்ற பண்ணாலுமே இது ஒண்ணு கிட்ட கிடையாது. அவங்க வந்து இந்த ஒர்க்கு கிளாஸ் கிட்ட என்ன திரும்பி அப்படியே மனசு போச்சுன்னா என்னாச்சு பரவாயில்ல, ஆக்செப்ட் பண்ணலாம். ஒண்ணு தைரியமா சொல்றேன். அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு டவுட் சொன்னா கூட அதுக்கப்புறம் ரிப்பீட்டடா அந்த டவுட் வந்துட்டே இருக்கும். அது வந்து ரிட் ஆகிறதுக்கே 2 years டைம் எடுத்துக்கும்.
வீட்லயே சொல்லிட்டு போதானே சொல்லுவாங்க. இப்போ வீட்லயே சொல்லலாம், பட் வாட்ஸ் த பாயிண்ட்?
வீட்ல இருந்தே படி, எல்லாமே ஃபெசிலிட்டி உனக்கு இருக்குன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஹலோ, எனக்கு இன்னைக்கு கிளாஸ்க்கு நான் லேட்டா தான் வருவேன். எனக்கு அவ வெளியே உட்கார சொல்லிப்போம். உனக்கு இல்லன்றதுக்காக தான் என்னால லீவ் போட்டு முடியாது. ஏன் அம்மா என்னெல்லாம் பிடிச்சிட முடியும்? உன் இஷ்டத்துக்கு நான் லீவ் போட்டுனே இருக்குமா? உனக்கு என்னால லீவ் போட முடியாது. புரியல? பாதியிலலாம் என்னால வர முடியாது. பாதியிலலாம் என்னால வர முடியாது. 2 மணிக்கு வருவேன்.
शुक्रिया शुक्रिया।